From fearless leaders to sharp-tongued survivors, these trailblazing women shaped pre-code cinema and made it unforgettable, raising the question of which legendary characters defined an era before Hollywood's rules changed forever, as we explore the 12 boldest female icons of the industry's most daring years. Lily Powers, played by Barbara Stanwyck in Babyface, stands as perhaps the ultimate pre-code heroine, raised in her father's speakeasy and surrounded by men who treat her as a possession, quickly learning that nothing in the world will be handed to her freely. So instead of surrendering or giving up, she takes control of her fate, leaves her small town for New York City, and carefully uses her intelligence and charm to climb the corporate ladder by moving from one man to another, each more powerful than the last. What makes Lily extraordinary is not only her ambition but her complete refusal to feel shame for it, remaining unapologetic about her choices and her manipulation of men, while Stanwyck's performance reveals a woman who is both calculating and wounded, exposing vulnerability beneath her hardened exterior. And in a society that expects obedience, Lily turns the system upside down and writes her own rules, as Babyface shocked censors and audiences alike and its heroines. Resilience and ingenuity created a lasting anti-heroine who reflected the difficult reality faced by many women during the Great Depression, transforming Lily Powers into a symbol of independence, defiance, and survival, a woman determined to take what she wants regardless of public judgment. Sadie Sati Thompson, portrayed by Joan Crawford in Rain, is another unforgettable pre-code figure adapted from W. Somerset Maugham's short story, a bold and self-reliant woman who arrives in Pago Pago searching for a fresh beginning, only to be targeted by missionaries led by Walter Houston's Mr. Davidson, who see her as a danger to their moral order. Sadie's strength lies in her refusal to be labeled or controlled by others, showing no interest in meeting expectations or submitting to reform. And as the story unfolds, her tough exterior is revealed as protection against hypocrisy and cruelty, as she laughs, argues, and charms without allowing herself to become a victim, while the film carefully balances her toughness with deep sympathy and Crawford brings wounded dignity to the role, making Sadie's journey about more than escaping her past, but about claiming the right to live freely, as her confrontations with Davidson become a clash between repression and joy, sanctimony and honesty. And Rain endures because it gives voice to a woman who will not be shamed or silenced, reminding us that sometimes the bravest act is simply refusing to apologize for who you are. Allison Drake, played by Ruth Chatterton in Female, is a character unlike any other, a powerful executive who runs a major automobile company and commands respect in a male-dominated world, managing both her business and her romantic life with equal authority, keeping men at a distance unless she chooses otherwise, and drawing her boldness from an unapologetic embrace of power and pleasure as she leads, strategizes, and loves without allowing society to define her limits. When she becomes involved with an engineer who challenges her authority, their relationship becomes a contest of equals, and the film caused controversy for portraying a woman who controls boardrooms and bedrooms with the same confidence, establishing Allison as a pioneer of intelligence, independence, and ambition, with Chatterton delivering a dynamic performance that blends toughness with warmth and proves that vulnerability and strength can exist together, making Female a still radical portrait of empowerment. Lady Lou, played by Mae West in She Done Him Wrong, represents boldness in its purest form as West, already a Broadway sensation who wrote her own dialogue, brings her unmistakable wit to the role of a Bowery saloon singer surrounded by admirers, rivals, and danger, effortlessly controlling every situation through flirtation, humor, and authority, never appearing flustered, intimidated, or defeated. And even when threatened, she stays ahead through sharp instincts and fearless confidence. As the film broke box office records and turned West into a household name, while Lady Lou became an enduring icon of self-worth and agency, whose legendary one-liners only enhance the lasting impression of a woman who never waits to be saved because she runs the show herself. Van Tyne, portrayed by Jean Harlow in Red Dust, is the ultimate free spirit, arriving uninvited at a rubber plantation in French Indochina and immediately stirring excitement and conflict alongside Clark Gable's hardened overseer, distinguished by humor, resilience, and a refusal to let hardship extinguish her joy, whether bathing in a barrel or trading clever remarks, always remaining in control of her destiny, as Harlow's lively performance makes Van Tyne unforgettable and turns Red Dust into a story of survival as much as romance, with a heroine who refuses to be shamed, ignored, or silenced, fights for her place on her own terms, lives passionately, loves fiercely, and never apologizes, shining as both survivor and light in a dangerous world. Mary Martin, portrayed by Dorothy Mary Martin McHale in Safe in Hell, is another powerful survivor, fleeing a false accusation to a dangerous Caribbean refuge filled with outcasts and fugitives, facing constant threats while refusing to surrender to fear, drawing her strength from perseverance, loyalty, and protectiveness toward those she cares for, enduring relentless trials without losing her resilience. As the film's honest portrayal of a woman navigating overwhelming odds is anchored by a raw and emotionally grounded performance that captures Mary's fear and defiance, showing a woman who makes mistakes yet never loses herself, whose courage lies in defending her dignity even when hope seems gone, and whose story ultimately stands as a testament to endurance and the bravery required to survive in a world that does not care whether you make it out alive. Jerry Martin odds. Jerry Martin. Norma Shearer's portrayal of Jerry Martin in The Divorce became a true revelation. At a time when society accepted a strict double standard, when men could be unfaithful without punishment and women were expected to forgive, Jerry chose to change the rules. When she discovers her husband's betrayal, she does not withdraw or suffer in silence, but instead demands the same rights and respect. Her performance is subtle, controlled, and deeply powerful. Jerry is refined, intelligent, and refuses to accept anything less than dignity. The story follows her emotional path through pain, personal growth, and her search for real happiness. Jerry's refusal to feel ashamed of her choices was groundbreaking. She openly acknowledges her own needs and insists on being treated as an equal partner. The film created a sensation upon its release and earned Shearer the Academy Award for Best Actress. Its honest approach to adult relationships and its depiction of a woman who refuses to be reduced to a victim were extremely bold for that era. Jerry Martin's lasting legacy is built on self-respect and resolve. She fights for her own future and, in doing so, opens doors for generations of women who refuse to accept less. Carole King. Joan Blondell's Carole King in 3 on a Match stands among the most unforgettable characters of pre-code Hollywood. Carole is sharp, devoted, and constantly watching out for the people she loves. In uncertain times, she becomes the steady support others depend on. Her courage comes from sincerity and quick thinking. She meets hardship with humor, using it both as protection and as a tool. Whether facing friendship struggles, romance, or survival itself, Carole never loses who she is. 3 on a Match tells a story about decisions and their consequences, but it is also a celebration of female friendship. Carole's bond with the other two women is the emotional heart of the film, and Blondell's warmth and charm make the character unforgettable. What truly makes Carole King special is her fierce loyalty and her refusal to be crushed by difficult circumstances. She confronts every obstacle directly, determined to defend the people she cares about. Carole shows that bravery takes many forms and that sometimes the strongest act is simply standing by your friends no matter what. Ruth Westcott. Kay Francis's Ruth Westcott in Trouble in Paradise is a masterclass in elegance and cleverness. A successful perfume executive, Ruth is polished, intelligent, and completely self-possessed. When a charming thief enters her world, the story turns into a glittering game of pursuit and deception. Ruth's boldness comes from her confidence. She is never easily fooled and can easily match anyone who attempts to outplay her. The dialogue sparkles with hidden meanings and subtle manipulation, yet Ruth handles every moment with calm authority. Trouble in Paradise is frequently regarded as one of the greatest romantic comedies ever made, and Francis's performance is a major reason for its reputation. Ruth is captivating without being foolish, sensitive without being weak. She chooses her own path and stands firmly behind it, even when it puts her heart at risk. What defines Ruth is her quiet power. She does not need to raise her voice to command attention. Her confidence draws people in. In a world built on trickery and games, Ruth Westcott is a woman who competes to win, always by her own rules. Ivy Pearson. Miriam Hopkins's Ivy Pearson in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde brings deep emotion and complexity to a tale of horror and transformation. As a barmaid who becomes involved with both Dr. Jekyll and his frightening alter ego, Ivy exists as both a victim and a survivor. What makes her so moving is the mix of fragility and strength she carries. Hopkins portrays Ivy as someone desperate to escape a harsh life, yet unwilling to surrender to fear. Her scenes with both Jekyll and Hyde are filled with intense tension as she struggles within a world that often feels cruel and uncaring. Hopkins's performance is heartbreaking. She gives Ivy dignity and compassion, making her suffering deeply powerful. Even when danger surrounds her, Ivy does not lose hope. She continues to fight for her safety and for the future she dreams of, refusing to let the darkness around her destroy her. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde explores the evil that exists within human nature, but Ivy Pearson stands as a symbol of endurance. Her story reminds us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to move forward despite it. Cleopatra. Claudette Colbert's Cleopatra in Cleopatra represents the ultimate figure of power. As the legendary Queen of Egypt, she is intelligent, captivating, and impossible to ignore. Colbert's performance captures both the splendor and the vulnerability of a woman who shaped history itself. Cleopatra's strength comes from her sharp mind and her determination to do whatever is necessary to defend her kingdom. She is a master strategist who uses charm and intelligence to outmaneuver both enemies and allies. Colbert presents her as regal yet human, creating a ruler who feels both commanding and relatable. The film dazzles with magnificent sets and lavish costumes, but it is Colbert's presence that holds everything together. Cleopatra is far more than a symbolic leader. She designs her own future. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony are driven by both passion and political calculation, yet she never forgets her true mission, the security and prosperity of her people. At a time when women were rarely allowed to wield authority on screen, Colbert's Cleopatra became a powerful statement of ambition, intelligence, and grace under pressure. She is both a queen and a woman, and she refuses to give up either identity. Gruzhenskaya. Greta Garbo's Gruzhenskaya in Grand Hotel is a moving portrait of isolation and inner strength. A weary Russian ballerina, she is burdened by loneliness and uncertainty, yet she remains commanding in every room she enters. Garbo's performance is legendary. Through subtle movements and expressive glances, she communicates deep emotion without words. Gruzhenskaya stands at a turning point in her life, unsure whether she can continue, until an unexpected meeting offers her a chance at renewed hope. The film gently examines despair, love, and the possibility of starting again. What makes Gruzhenskaya so special is her vulnerability. Unlike some of the other bold women here, her courage is gentle and quiet, yet equally powerful. She does not fight with sharp language or dramatic actions, but with a will to keep going when everything feels hopeless. Grand Hotel is remembered as a classic ensemble drama, but Garbo's Gruzhenskaya is its emotional core. Her journey shows that boldness appears in many forms, from defiance to tenderness, from laughter to tears. In the end, Gruzhenskaya chooses life, and through that choice, she inspires everyone around her. These women were not simply ahead of their era. They reshaped what courage and independence could look like on screen. If you enjoyed this journey through Hollywood's most daring years, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more deep explorations of classic cinema's greatest stories. Which pre-code heroine inspired you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for more hidden legends from film.